Yo! What's good? What's poppin'? Hello. Good evening. Wait, where's my fucking Katamari song? What's going on? Wow, that was a tough setup. That was a tough setup. It turns out that I did not fix anything from when the computer crashed. And so the camera did not work as of 1 minute before going live. There we go. There we go. Oh, the light's perfect now. We're all shocked by that? Okay. Unnecessary. Move this over here. Let me get chat right in front of me. How much for a shirtless stream? Bro, give me a few more months of climbing. Maybe I'll do it for free. What's up? Green Zig, thank you for 3 months. Yo, Big A, when you were on your hike today, did you ask Ludwig and Stans to call you Dr. Carbonation, or is that just between us? That's a great question. I actually didn't do that. So I guess it's just between us. Our little secret. I guess we don't, you know what? Let's not even mention it. Let's just keep it just between us. Never public. Not on my YouTube comments. Didn't go on the hike. Oh, I went on the hike. I was up at 6 fucking a.m. Oh, I'll tell you what happened on this fucking hike. Okay. We, both myself and Stans, demanded the night before to know exactly where the hike is, so we weren't getting there early, driving around, trying to figure out where the fuck he wanted to go at 6 a.m. And he sends us an address. He's like, this is the hike. Well, in the morning at 6 a.m., we both find out that address isn't real. It's just a street. A very long street, could be anywhere. He just said it's a fucking street, so the Google Maps defaults. So we're both at 6 a.m. in the wrong spot. Me and Stans are both in different spots than Lud. Trying to figure out where the fuck this hike is. Stans is on the top of the mountain, or like at halfway up the mountain, has no service. So he's sitting there waiting. And we're texting like, hey, where the fuck is everybody? He doesn't even see our text. So he's waiting. So we didn't actually get to hike in the same spot till like fucking 6:30. Then it's supposed to be a pretty simple trail, a well-worn trail up to fucking Griffith Observatory, which is like a fucking well-known landmark in LA. But Lud is like, I think it's this way. And again, he's the one that planned this location. So fine. Okay, fine. He's like, I think it's this way. We go down a path that is absolutely not a trail. And we actually got off track and lost going to fucking Griffith Observatory, which is nearly impossible. It was not a trail. It was literally like a fucking, like a rainwater sluice or whatever, you know, it left like a slight thing down the hill, but it didn't go anywhere. Yeah, it was like a wash of rainwater. So we just walk up that, and every time we're like, hey, I don't think this is the trail, because we're like having to like basically go almost vertical at some points. Like just climb. He's like, no, this is proof. And he looked and he would find a piece of trash. Every time he saw a piece of trash, he'd be like, this is proof this is a trail. Which is like, yes, there's trash. It's all over. It's California, but there's gonna be some trash. That wasn't proof that it was a trail. Anyway, finally, we get to the end of the fucking thing and we see Griffith Observatory and we see, it's hard to draw. Maybe I can use paint to draw it for you. Let me see if I can show this with paint. Okay? So like, imagine this is Griffith Observatory on top of a mountain. Okay? And there is a very obvious trail that goes like around and down. Well, whatever reason, we're like vertical going this way. And there's a fence right here. So we like climb up all the way to the top and you can see at this point the real trail. And we get to there and there's a fence where it is blocked behind. So we have to like throw our shit over and climb the fence. So anyway, we fucking get there. We get there right as the sun crests. You know what? It all works out. The delay of this trail, we get there right as fucking sunrise happens. So it's actually pretty hype. And then we look out on the sunrise, and then someone makes a fucking dick joke or something. And it's a real beautiful moment. That was great. And then we went and fucking got matchas. It was great. I can't understand the drawing. Let's use the whiteboard. Don't make me use the whiteboard, bro. It's going to have to draw it all over. Did you do the classic epic prank of making the Hollywood sign say Hollyweed? Those letters are like 40 feet tall. Do you think we brought 4 gigantic letters saying weed and then replaced? No one's done this. No, everyone doesn't do that. That's insane. You need like fucking trucks and a team and they just use a blanket? Oh, okay. How does that? I have to look this up. Holly weed sign. Oh shit. Holy shit. Wow, someone actually did this. They just changed it. Okay, I see what they did. It's an O. They black out. Oh, that's actually so clever. They black that out and then add a white part there. How based, dude. God, we'll have to go back tomorrow. We'll run it again. There's also Holly Boob. No, I get it. You can change the sign to say funny things. All right. Well, hey, new day, new learning. Well, that was it. We had a fun hike. Spent time with the boys. Always good. Anyway, welcome to Marketing Monday here on a Wednesday. We're going to start here probably 10 minutes, maybe. We'll jump into wins and fails. I feel pretty comfortable with it, but let me see if I actually am. How's everybody doing? Please fill me in. Does anyone have anything insane that happened in their life that they want 2,000 or 3,000 strangers to know about? I got a root canal today. Yikes. Got my tire. Wait, what? You got your tire slashed? For what reason? What? I mean, I'm not saying you're at fault. I'm just asking for what reason did someone slash your tires? That seems like that's a level of aggression that I wasn't expecting. Wait, I need to get this set up. Quick. Slide update. Wait, play this. Hold up. Got a promotion in my job. Wait. Let me read what that guy said. Got a promotion in my job and paid. Dude, it's my fucking chat. It reset, so I lost my nice little. I got a promotion in my job and I got $300 in. Wait, you made $2,000 on baseball cards? Some of you are having come-ups. Sheesh. 2 racks on baseball cards. This guy got his hours cut. Oh my God. It's give and take. Some people are winning and some people are getting hit with an L. I spent all day memorizing the proofs to 2.5 to 10 theorems. That was nice. Ledzy, if you're such a mathematician, impress us with your math right now. Everyone, I need 1 second. So Ledzy's going to impress you in the chat with his math skills right now. No, that's not it. Sorry, but 1 second anyway. No. Okay, it's actually... No. It's not Paper Mario. No. I'm just turning it off. 1 second. Okay. Where is this? Slideshow needs to go bigger. Yeah, that goes up, and then okay. Yeah. Now, obviously, I'm not gonna launch into a random Paper Mario. The problem is I saved that scene as timer, and I forget that it's not any timer. It's the fucking Paper Mario. Actually, you know what? Here, I need you guys to be entertained for fucking 2 minutes while I fucking finish this one setup. So, I've got a perfect thing, because apparently, as of a day ago, Glorb released a brand new fucking SpongeBob song. So, here, it's perfect. It's perfect. This will be exactly what we need. It's called Vengeance. Perfect. I can't help but feel like this is not the best intro. Do you know what I'm saying? This is not the best intro to a serious discussion of marketing. Finish it. I'm just gonna finish something.
Fucking useless. I saw your fucking comments on my bitch. Saying I can't grape, I'm a bitch. You fucking fake fans on some bitch shit. I cannot stand like the fucking Paralympics. That was a vengeance, a Mac got extended. More than an OS, I am snapping Avengers. Back from the dead, bitch, I came at the trenches. Oxford and red, leave them dead like redemption. And it's pain, the black red.
Well, that was something. That was something. No, Moss, yeah, never again. Okay, it's gone. But I do feel good about that update. Let me just see if... Oh, he did find the video. Nice! Shout out to fucking Mingo who found the video that I needed. Oh, yes. I was waiting for this video because I think it really brings together the fucking was it Beijing part. Okay, perfect. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Damn. All right. Yeah, this all looks good. Sick. Yeah, I got the hard arrow. All right, fuck. Hell, I'm filling up for myself. All right, so leave vibe for a second. Sorry, I was off track. Again, I started a little late. The camera issues fucked me up. Chat back open. Okay. Chill. Relax. Vibe. Yo, Mr. Ray, Mercury fact. Did you know that gear on Mercury is only 88 Earth days? How does that work? Does it just mean one revolution around the sun is you're calling a year? Because isn't a year like only defined by Earth? Like, if someone goes to Mars, for example, on an expedition, and they come back 10 years later, we would use Earth years. We would, or if they're in space for 10 years. Do you know what I'm saying? Like we would only use, it would be a metric of our time, no matter where you were no matter where you go in space. In communication, we would use a metric of time based on how many times Earth has gone around the sun. You could say Mars years, I guess, but you wouldn't just say years, and it wouldn't be converted. To me, personally, I wouldn't use it unless it was American time only. Like, for example, I don't believe in time zones outside of the big four, which are the four that split up our great nation. Everything outside of that doesn't really count. I don't count Alaska and Hawaii either. They're too close to the enemy. You know what I'm saying? They're too close to the enemy. I'm sorry, but they're like, we can't. Alaska is right next to Russia. We can't trust them. We just can't trust them with our time. You know what I'm saying? She can see Russia from her backyard. What a good time in American politics. Bring that back, dude. Bring back Sarah Palin talking about seeing Russia from her backyard as qualification for VP. That was a goated era. I made that joke yesterday in a seminar and it killed. What was the joke? What was the joke? You did a Sarah Palin joke? Crazy that West Coast is 3 hours in the past compared to East Coast. I guess East Coast is technically in the future. Does any one of my East Coast frogs have any wisdom from the future? Anything they know that we youngins over in the West Coast could understand or learn from? A lot of you immediately jump to stock price picks, which is interesting because the stock market is already closed for today. So 3 hours from now, the prices will not have changed. You have no advanced information on the stock market. So just interesting that was your... Oh yeah, is anybody who here got their microchips activated today? The phone thing was supposed to trigger your blood microchips, so hopefully everyone now feels a little bit closer to Bill Gates. Beep boop. Good, great. I'm talking to him now. He's like, I just got the direct connect in my bloodstream. Yeah, I heard it and immediately went to Best Buy to buy a Windows phone. It'd be like a plot of like a Nick movie or something. The beep goes off and everyone immediately has to go march and buy the same fucking... We tossed our iMacs in the trash. Can't wait for Console War 2.0 with the Neuratech. Do you think we're only at the second console war? Interesting question. Dwell on that. Okay. All right, well, I'm gonna start here in probably 2 minutes. What's the song? God's Plan by Drake. I remember the console wars of 1885. Is anyone here an actual console wars veteran? I don't think it even, it still happens now. Like, and by console wars veteran, I mean wasted your time arguing about it on social media. Like with strangers. Like would get online and join. I mean, ideally the real wars I think were fought, like World War I was fought in the trenches, and the trenches of the console wars were forums. Forums don't exist nowadays, but forums were the first wave of, and that's where it was most bloody. You know what I'm saying? In World War I, more people died in the fucking trenches. There was no progress. It was just instant slog. Nowadays, you can get retweets and shit, so you can actually have a post go viral. But on forums, you were literally speaking to like 5 people. And nobody cared, and nobody changed their mind. Could a new console? No, there's no way. Unless it was by fucking Apple, maybe. Maybe Apple could do it. They just have so much physical product loyalty. But I don't think anyone else could make a new console today. It's pretty entrenched. The problem is you need so much money to be able to compete with the games. The deep relationships that Sony and Microsoft were purchased, either cultivated or purchased, are very hard to beat. So you need a ton of money. And Nintendo just makes their own games, basically. Nintendo makes physical consoles to sell their own first-party games. It's like if fucking EA made a console or something. Apple could buy Sony. I mean, I don't know. It'd be tough to get through the FTC, though. I've said that before. But yes, they have the cash. Atrioc, in Europe, they call that a monopoly. Bro, don't hit me with that European high and mighty shit. Shit's not going so well in Europe, if you've noticed. Actually a pretty tough time, especially UK. Yikes, dude. I mean, I am not kidding when I don't know. There's gonna be some kind of upheaval in the UK, bro. People are angry. I guess UK isn't EU. It's European, but it's not EU. Atrioc, are you going to talk about bond yields? And it to me, Glork it to me. Probably not in wins and fails today, but I can talk about it. Talk to me afterwards. Why are people mad in the UK? So, I'll give you a quick brief before we go into it. You know how, like, in America, most people, actually, maybe you guys don't know. Some of you do. When you get a mortgage for a house, usually you get a 30-year fixed rate mortgage. That means your payments are the same for 30 years. In the UK, for example, those things usually only last about 5 years and then they go up. So everybody that has a house with low payments is now suddenly getting much, much higher payments as it rolls over that 5-year mark. And a lot of people can't afford, they're like getting, priced out of the houses they live in very quickly, which is causing housing prices to collapse in the UK, which again, in the long term, may be a good thing because people can afford to buy houses, but it's disaster for the economy. And so that's happening at the same time as there's a big push from the government to cut taxes on the rich, as the government already can't afford shit and is, getting a deeper and deeper deficit. And at the same time as wages are stagnating and prices of oil and consumer goods and most inflation is really bad in the UK, and their economy is not growing. At least the American economy's gotten a little bit of growth. So all of it's hitting at once, and it's an extremely tough time to be an average person in the UK. That's the long and short of it. If you are an average person in the UK, there's many large forces that are conspiring around you to make your life extremely difficult from all angles. And there's not a lot you can do about it other than get wildly angry in a random direction, which usually leads to a lot of political chaos. They must not be tipping landlords over there. So sad. Yeah. I think if I were to say what the root cause of the problems in the UK is they're not tipping their landlords enough. Because if you don't show love to your landlords through a generous regular tip, then they feel slighted. They feel like they're not appreciated, and it leads to all sorts of knock-on problems. Nah, mate, Rishi has a plan. He's going to make trend. Yeah, and then so I saw the thing today, and it's it sounds like the big plan from Rishi Sunak, who's the prime minister, is to yell at trans people, which is the problems your country are facing are enormous, and that is such a distraction. It's just so fucking stupid. It's such an obvious ploy to rile people up around something that is divisive culturally, when it has nothing to do with the real problem. People, I think, would much rather even if I'm just trying to say even if someone is the most bigoted anti-trans person, I think even that person would rather have a functioning economy. They would rather be paid right. Isn't that what? That's what it just happens all the time. And when in economies When shit gets bad, the leadership likes to go to really hot button cultural issues to try and distract from the fact that like things are getting more expensive, your wages aren't keeping up, housing is getting out of reach. Like all that stuff is what's important, but they can't deal with that without something that hurts current wealthy people. So they won't do it. Did you see the article about how graduates that now make Wait, what? Graduates now make $10,000 less than their parents after adjusting for inflation. You mean the average graduate now is making $10,000 less than their parents did when they graduated? I haven't seen that article. I don't even know if that's... My estimation is that is not true, to be honest. But it depends on location and my understanding is that it's more flat. But things have increased around it. Like real wages haven't gone down, but they are generally flat, and inflation is. But maybe it's the way you're adjusting it. Maybe I'm misunderstanding the way you're phrasing it. Maybe we should bring the wages down a little bit to help the economy. That's unironically what some people are suggesting. Atrioc, have you seen the TikTok about how to get rid of the national debt with NFTs and crypto? No, but I'm assuming it's the joke of like, let's make a single fucking monkey NFT worth 40 trillion, and then that we'll use that to pay the debt. Hey, Big A, I'm going to yoink your content basically entirely, but I can't tell you how. Just thought I should tell you. What does that mean? Don't do that. Maybe we should do a purge to help the economy. It's for sure a good idea. Bro, can I just say, I've never seen one of the Purge movies, but Ari watched one recently and I kind of overheard it and watched some of it. It doesn't make any sense. Like it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Like not even it doesn't make any sense on any level. How does it even accomplish what they say it wants to accomplish in the movie? It doesn't. It seems, do you realize like the next day, like every job has like no employee? Like it would be so, like the fucking cleanup costs would be so astronomical. You don't get it, bro? Hey, it's my, wait. It's really funny to talk about the purge and go, what about the economy? Yeah, but that's what I'm thinking the whole time. I'm like, okay, what my main point is like, how does this even help rich people? Like the whole thing of the fucking movie is like, this is like the evil rich people and like they're insulated from it while everyone else kills each other. But like, it like Jeff Bezos would wake up the next day and have like 2 workers left in his fucking factory, which is like half burned down. What it doesn't, it like literally doesn't make any sense. Hunger Games make sense. Hunger Game makes sense because they take 100 fucking teens, they throw them into a fucking Hunger Game, and they broadcast it for entertainment. People would watch that shit. People watch fucking Mr. Beast Squid Game. They would watch it. That makes sense. Killing them all, killing everybody, and blowing up half the city block is crazy. So you're saying the purge would only work if it was one big YouTube video. What I'm saying is that Mr. Beast should gather 100 of my chatters and make them fight to the death in a purge-style tournament, which would be entertaining for all of us and create content and make him money. He could get it sponsored. That's way better. If the purge was a TV broadcast, I get it. But as a wild free-for-all in city streets, feels like it wouldn't work. And that's part of my thesis on why Hunger Games is a real economic analysis, and purge is fake. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think it is time to jump in today's broadcast of wins and fails. I just feel like I'm missing one thing, but I don't know what it is. No, I'm good. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I need you to do me a quick favor. Analyze your screens, use your ocular reflexes, and determine if what you see on the screen matches with what your self-identity is. And at that point, tag it with me. Thank you very much. Time for Marketing Monday, wins and fails. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Marketing Monday, wins and fails, where we go over all of the wins and fails in the last week in marketing and business. I'm going to start you off with an interesting win. An interesting win that combines one of the more interesting Venn diagrams that I think that I've ever seen, that created one of the most interesting business headlines that I've ever seen. That, of course, is the combination, the beautiful peanut butter and chocolate combination of gamers and insider trading. This is where we find ourselves, okay? But first, a little bit of backstory, okay? I made a clip a few days ago called Getting Away with Insider Trading, where I listened to some interesting stories from chat about how they thought they could get away with insider trading. And a lot of you after that clip sent me comments or DMs about things that have happened in your real life that are like, could this be insider trading? Could I get away with it? And of course, my answer to all of you is no, probably not. But a lot of you seem to think that you were capable of getting away with insider trading. And I don't necessarily blame you, because a lot of you are looking around at the world and seeing things like this, which is like Senator Thomas Tuberville here, who's on the Senate Committee for Agriculture and is directly betting on wheat, corn, soy, and cattle futures and making tons of money. And this happens all over in our government. People see insider trading happen, not get punished, and think, okay, maybe the SEC sucks. Maybe they don't know how to prosecute it. I'll probably get away with it just fine. And the only time I can remember in recent memory where somebody rich or famous actually got punished for insider trading was Martha Stewart like fucking 10 years ago. So I can see why you might think that. But my theory is that you don't have the level of connections that senators, government officials, and rich people do have. But you are gamers, okay? You are gamers, and I think maybe your gamer skill makes you believe that you can. And as we know, gamers have never, ever been caught for insider trading, ever. Now, enter a new character to the Marketing Monday lore. This is a man named Anthony Vigiano. Introducing Anthony Vigiano. He's a 26-year-old gamer who works at Goldman Sachs. He's not a viewer, but he could be. He fits sort of my demographic profile, and I think he's a good example that we could talk about. Anthony Vigiano is a smart kid. He's working at Goldman Sachs in finance, and he deals with very interesting upcoming merger and acquisition transactions. That means he has public knowledge or non-public knowledge, secrets about upcoming mergers and acquisitions. Interesting. Now, Anthony Vigiano here has a friend named Christopher Salamone. Very Italian. Now, I don't have a picture of Christopher Salamone, so I used an artist's rendition of the average Italian man. This is Christopher Salamone. He's a friend of Anthony's. And these two together, as two gamers and friends, have decided to do some insider trading. But they want to be smart about it, okay? Anthony here is going to have all of the knowledge from his job at Goldman Sachs, and Christopher is going to do the trading. And they are going to be very smart because they're gamers. They will use no texting. They will use no email. They will leave no records of their conversations. That way no one can trace them one to the other. Pretty smart. They will use a smoke screen where if Salamone, Christopher here, buys some stock, let's say for example, what happened, Anthony tells him to buy MAXR, a defense company that's going to have a merger. He tells him to buy 4 other defense stocks so they could pretend he was buying defense stocks in anticipation of a possible World War III. Okay, smart. It's a smokescreen. Okay, so no paper trail, and you're buying multiple stocks that aren't all going up, so you can have a plausible deniability. Pretty smart. How do they split the profits? Smart again, in cash only. Okay, once Christopher makes his money from trading stocks, he goes to the bank, withdraws $20,000 in cash, hand delivers it back to Anthony. Again, these gamers are smart. They are handling it better than most people in my DMs would have thought. And they're going to do this, and they're going to get away with it. Now, how, if they do all these things right, could they get caught? Well, it turns out the stock market is kind of like a casino because the average person always loses. And so the SEC has a unit basically called the Market Abuse Unit that looks to see if anyone is consistently winning, which turns out is extremely rare for an average person in the stock market to consistently be hitting bangers. So if you, it turns out, are winning consistently in the stock market, they might check how you won that money. They might check if it's all in companies that recently got acquired or merged or had non-public information. And they might try to see if there's any connection. Like say you used to live on the block of somebody and are lifelong childhood friends with somebody working at an analyst firm. That might be the next step. But they still need hard evidence, okay? And that's where this story became great. Because these two guys decided not to use texting, not to use email, but they did have to talk to each other. They didn't live in the same location. How did they talk to each other? Step 1 was Signal, an app that deletes their messages after 5 minutes. Pretty smart. Very hard to trace. The second thing was Xbox 360 voice chat. Which Anthony is quoted as saying is impossible to trace, giving us one of the all-time greatest business headlines. There is no tracing Xbox 360 chat. Claimed guy now charged with insider trading. Him and his friend would get on old Xbox 360 games and talk about their plans in Xbox 360 chat. Now, this recording was obtained and used by the SEC in their complaints. That being said, a lot of other things fell apart. It turns out their friend, this friend right here, told another friend, and that friend did text people, which made it a lot easier for them to track it down. But eventually, they did use a recording on Xbox 360 of the guy saying there's no way to trace Xbox 360 and put it in court, which led to these two guys going down. So next time you're thinking that you've got it all figured out and you want to beat the system with insider trading, I got to say I would recommend against it. I got to say you're probably, unless you're a senator, in which case go for it, Xbox 360 or otherwise. Let's talk about something else. Again, they went down. They went down big. You know what is crazy though? One little fun fact. This insider trading was for $322,000 and actually another $130,000, like nearly $500,000 they made in profit and ended up splitting. And in general, when I see someone get flagged for insider trading, it's for a significant amount. It turns out, I looked into it, Martha Stewart, they took her down for like 40 racks. She was worth $100 million at the time. She went to jail for a pretty significant amount of time for 40 rack. I'm not saying she shouldn't go to jail. It's a crime. It's just crazy that like she was the one rich connected person to ever really hit this punishment. It was like making an example of her, but that didn't cause anyone else to stop. It was a very funny scapegoat. So I don't know. That was interesting. Anyway, that was a nice win, but I want to give a fail to technology that is past its prime. Okay? And I'm not talking about Xbox 360 voice chat. I'm talking about this. Have you guys ever been to I'm sure you have. All of you have been to a gas station or a grocery store and you've seen, this. It's called a display fridge. And basically it's a fridge with a big glass door so you can tell what's inside it. Yuck! Enter the future. and a win for all of us. An innovation by cooler screens. Enter the cooler screen, a gigantic wall-to-ceiling monitor that covers the products inside. But it tells you what's in there. Wow! We truly live. Wait.
We truly live in an age of wonders.
Oh, look at this disgusting thing. I mean, you have to fucking look in there to see what's in there. Think of all the advantages of this amazing cooler screen. For example, it can tell you what's inside. Well, no, that one does that. It can, you know, it runs with more electricity. For example, it regularly freezes or goes dark, preventing customers from seeing what's available inside. Sometimes it'll spark and catch fire. Sometimes it'll show the wrong products or prices, or won't show you when it's out of stock. Let's go. These are advantages. Technology wins. And these are rolling out to convenience stores and supermarkets nationwide. And maybe I wouldn't have talked about this. Honestly, I didn't know if this is a story worth including in Wins and Fails. But I saw someone who walked into a Walgreens and complained about it. It was this woman named Annie. And she said, I will never be able to comprehend this design change. They're almost always wrong. They cost more money because it's an always-on display. You have to lose cold air because you're constantly opening and closing it to check if they're right. They don't make the lives of the employees or customers easier. What the fuck was wrong in the first place? She made this complaint. And I was like, yeah, base, go off, queen. And her top comment, as is always the case on Twitter.com nowadays, because blue checks get automatically put to the top comment, was this guy, Scott Stevenson. And Scott Stevenson said something that made me so pissed off that I wanted to make a segment on it. Scott Stevenson said, if you think a $20 billion company hasn't had a team empirically analyze the ROI on this, you might be the one missing the elephant in the room. Marketing. And then this is his explanation. Marketing is often about displaying the intoxicating platonic ideal of a product. A bottle of Coke is not that interesting or good, but the perfect mental image of Coke is incredible. Of course. That's why they did it. That's why they made these fucking floor-to-ceiling screens. Because customers want to see the perfect mental image of Gatorade or Coke. It looks so much better than the real thing, and that's why they buy it. That must be the reason. It couldn't have anything to do with something else, right? But first, I'll tell you about the first part. The first part of his sentence is that bootlicking a $20 billion company couldn't possibly make a stupid mistake, which is so right. We've never seen an example of a multi-billion-dollar company make catastrophic errors that are anti-consumer. I agree with that so hard, Scott Stevenson. Well said. Well said. I'm glad you talked down to Annie with this. But more importantly, let's go back to that original video and think about why there might be some other reasons they might want to make floor-to-ceiling screens. Displaying the product, sure. Platonic ideals, sure. And then maybe you're noticing, oh, gigantic floor-to-ceiling ads, almost Las Vegas style, that are playing nonstop 24/7 whenever you're not looking directly at the screen you want. Interesting. I wonder if that had any reason for Walgreens and other stores wanting to do it so they could sell the ad space to make more money for themselves, costing the customer experience. I wonder if that had anything to do with it. Or maybe the fact that at the top of every one of these fucking things is a camera and a microphone so they can scan your face and remember your behavior. The new freezer doors have cameras, motion sensors, eye tracking capabilities. They track your gender and age so they can target which display ads to show and which promotions to show. They can even figure out your emotional response to individual products so they can more aptly get you to buy the exact thing that is the highest margin or whatever you're most susceptible to buying. I wonder, Scott Stevenson, if maybe that had something to do with it. Maybe it was really as stupid and short-sighted as I'm saying and not as genius as you are saying. Anyway, the funniest part of this whole story, this whole Walgreens and other companies' cooler screens fiasco, is that customers absolutely fucking hate them. So far, pretty much every customer that runs into one of these things fucking hates it. It subtly, actually not, it non-subtly makes the experience worse. And it's so obviously worse than the very easy solution that we had before of display fridges. And so Walgreens, which again is the company being talked about here, had originally had a contract for tens of thousands of these to roll out to almost every store. And after an initial trial run, decided, fuck this, we're not going through with it. And is now being sued by Cooler Screens for $200 million. Because they decided to not go through with the deal and don't want to have it anymore. Now, you're still seeing these pop up in stores other than Walgreens all over the world, really, but especially in America, because some stores are greedy enough to try and make extra money from the ads and the tracking. But Walgreens is the first and the biggest to go on the test, and they realized it fucking sucked. Their new CEO walked through one of their stores, saw the screens and said, it looks like fucking Vegas in here, and immediately pulled it. So there's a big legal battle going on as of 2 days ago, actually, was an update between these two companies of Cooler Screens trying to get them to buy the rest. But looking more into it, I wanted to know why they made the choice in the first place. Why did Walgreens think it was a good idea? Because it pretty much is. You know, even the benefits to the owner notwithstanding, almost anyone can tell once they see one of these things. It's just worse. Why did they do it? Is it because they're a $20 billion company that had empirically analyzed the ROI? Perhaps. Perhaps. Or perhaps Gregory Wasson, the former CEO of Walgreens, is a Cooler Screen co-founder. Oh, interesting. Maybe he just milked his former company for a multi-$100 million deal to buy his dog shit screen, and then they figured out that it was terrible and are now being sued. Interesting. And that's part of a larger theme that I talk about on Marketing Monday all the time, which is that we've got a real problem with CEO compensation in this country where they just aren't worth it. Even what I'm saying is there's two stances, bro. Either you have the pure moral stance where it's like things should be more equal. CEOs should not get paid so much more than their workers. Great. Moral stance. I love it too. Or there's the pure capitalist stance where it's like CEOs are worth more and should get paid more. Fine. Sure. They're not worth that much more, bro. The things they do are stupid and they are milking all of these companies for their personal wealth. That is what I'm saying. That on either path you go, CEOs in a lot of these companies are literally milking money that should at least go to shareholders for themselves. They've turned them into their own personal piggy banks. But that's neither here nor there. Let's talk about something way more interesting with giving a big win to my man Ninja. Maybe you remember Ninja's beautiful masterclass, Become a Streamer in 30 Days. I know I do. I learned a lot from my man here. An icon, a legend. And now that I'm a Fortnite player, a true GOAT. He is just the beginning. I'm giving him a win because he's a pioneer. As an Irish university is now offering their own degree in influencing as of this semester, this fall semester. And a university in Ireland is now offering a degree in influencing. Now, as a elective, I've got no problem with this, but I do tend to agree with this guy that the idea of somebody going into debt, student loan debt for a degree in influencing feels a little dystopian. And I don't know what teacher is going to be at this school in Ireland that can offer them enough knowledge to guarantee they're going to get any sort of job on the fickle, algorithmically based world of influencing on TikTok or YouTube or Twitch or anywhere else. Feels Jacksepticeye. That would be kind of worth it. If it's Jacksepticeye, dude, that'd be a beast. But my understanding is it's not. It's regular teachers in the university teaching that. And so I'm a little worried about that. And so I'm going to stick with Ninja for now, because I think he's the only one that's got an authentically good class. And that brings me to my next win, which is Fortnite related. Because if you are a Fortnite player like me, we've just got one of our biggest government action wins of all time. An FTC lawsuit against Epic Games has won. They almost never win. They lost against Activision Blizzard. They lost Probably going to lose against Google. They're losing a bunch of them. But they won against Epic Games for using what are called dark patterns, aka design tricks. For example, let's say the button to buy a skin was right where an old button to like exit the menu used to be, and you accidentally one-click it and it buys it. Well, it turns out a lot of kids were accidentally one-clicking things to buy unintended purchases. Diablo 4 did this really example. It's called dark patterns. Basically, you move buttons around and things, and Fortnite was doing this a lot in some of their earlier seasons, and they caused a lot of people to buy things unintentionally with one click. Well, they got sued. They were proven correct, and you can now refund any item you purchased from, I think, like the first, I feel like 7 seasons, something like that, or 6 seasons. I don't remember the exact number. For whatever. Actually, what season are we on? 3? We're on 4 now? 4 on 4. So maybe first 3. I'm sorry, first 3 seasons. Anyway, from I guess let's say 2020 to 2022. That range. If you bought a Fortnite item in those years, for example, like me, a 32-year-old man who bought this Darth Maul skin, you can actually go and refund it. And what's actually incredible is that not only do you get your money back, you get to keep the items. So you get to keep all your skins. So legitimately, if you are a person who got super into Fortnite during the boom, and you can credibly say that you purchased it from dark patterns, that you unintentionally, which I mean, there's no verification, you can get all of your money back from all these items and keep all the items, which is pretty incredible. So I'm going to give a dub to government intervention here and for making this punishment on Epic Games. They certainly will not be doing it again. Speaking of things that you can't refund, I'm going to give a fail to this. Not the Apple Watch in general, but this specific model. Do you guys know what model this is? This is the gold Apple Watch, and this cost $17,000. And as of 1 day ago, it is now obsolete, which means Apple will no longer repair it and updates won't work for it, which means its resale value has dropped to nothing. So anyone that spent $17,000 on this watch in 2015 is now left with a paperweight, basically, which is not great, given that even in the wild world of expensive watches, that's absurd. Rolexes, for example, have generally held their value over that same period of time. So if you bought a Rolex for 17 grand, you could sell it for perhaps even 20 grand, 20, 15, 20 grand. I mean, sometimes they go up in value. This Apple Watch, in its planned obsolescence, has gone from 17K to 0. But worry not, I've got a plan for you to make money. Okay, I got an easy win for you to make money. But first, take a moment. Take a moment. Drink it in. Drink it in. Drink it in. Okay, so I'm actually going to give you guys a fail for not appreciating this enough. This is a very valuable piece of artwork. I'll give you one more chance. How about now? Are you blown away? Are you blown away? Are you getting chills? Because if not, the fail is on you, because this artwork is entitled "Take the Money and Run." And it was sold to a museum for $77,000. And is now being sued by that museum and being ordered to pay the money back after being commissioned to make art, and he submitted 2 blank canvases under the direct title, "Take the Money and Run." I think it's provocative. You know what I'm saying? I think it's interesting. At least powerful. So, you know, easy idea if you're ever looking to make some quick scratch. You could do this with, but slightly less obscene. Cheap for what it is. You know what's funny is now that it has a story, it probably is worth this much. before the story comes out, this is worthless. But once art has a story like this, people suddenly want to own it. It's like when Banksy had the do you guys remember? I'm going to show this because it's so funny to me. Banksy Shredder. Banksy had a painting that automatically shredded itself when it was sold at auction. It was supposed to be like a powerful take on how the art can't be owned or sold, but then it ended up being worth 10x. It ended up being worth way fucking more because once it was half shredded, it was like this really cool story. So it was completely not, it undermined the exact point. This will probably happen with this. So interesting. Also, another win. Again, we don't talk about ads too often on directly in wins and fails, but I wanted to give a win to an interesting ad that I saw from the World Wildlife Fund. All right. A nice little ad win, which showed the Twitter logo through the years. And then in 2023, it turned to X and said, protect our wildlife before it's too late. That's clever. I just want to give a win to a clever ad. That was a clever way to tie it to social media. I thought that was clever. I'll give it a dub. So I'm giving that a win. And it's a perfect segue into my next win, which is understanding how to make great tweets or great X's from corporations, which came to us this week from McDonald's, which used, cool slang to say, talk yo talk about this, how it started, how it's going meme of a McDonald's crew member that went from a crew member in year 1 to a training manager in year 15. 15 years promoted to training manager. And McDonald's thought this was something to be proud of. Now, do I have the... Yeah, it was just... So, understandably, the fucking comments were not nice. We'll have to add them in the edit. But basically, it's people saying, like, what the fuck? Do you think this is cool? Do you think this is, like, an appropriate thing to strive for? People saying 15 years for fucking nothing? Anyway, the responses were pretty terrible. But there does exist an industry. There does exist an industry in this world where you can climb much higher than that, where you can go from the bottom rung to the top rung, from the entry level to the CEO. And I want to talk about a man who did it. This guy right here, okay? Let me make sure I get his name. Damon Hinninger. Damon Hinninger here, CEO of Core Civic, worked his way up from the lowest rung. And what is that lowest rung, you might ask? Correctional officer at a private prison. So fuck McDonald's, go work as a CO. And you too can work your way from the bottom rung all the way to the top. This guy lived the dream and has now been CEO for 12 years. He's had a 30-year career at Core Civic Private Prisons. And what did he do? Because he's a man of the people that came from the bottom rung. What did he do during his time as CEO? Well, first, he was part of a much widening gap between the pay of the CEO and the average correctional officer. Their pay stagnated or even declined, while his pay drastically increased. Love that. I love that. Then, he was responsible for many, many class action lawsuits for not paying wages, unpaid wages, delayed wages, unpaid time off, meal break violations, unpaid overtime, deducting meal breaks, all this stuff to make the average correctional officer, which is already an iffy job's life, way harder. But at least the prisons were run well and the inmates were treated fairly. At least these private prisons, which make hundreds of millions of dollars and pay them out largely to its executive staff, at least they are run better than normal public prisons.
for former correctional officer Trayton Latimer to
Wait.
say he can't take it anymore.
CoreCivic needs more officers, like flat out.
Latimer says understaffing not only puts officers at risk, but delayed medical care to inmates.
Most of the time, we'd have an inmate come to us like, hey, I've got this or this or this going on. Literally, the only thing we could do was, here, man, fill out this sick call slip. And once they filled out the slip, they gave it to us. We had to take it and put it in a box. And whenever they came to collect that, I don't know.
The thing that you need to understand about CoreCivic is that they do not care when inmates in their custody die.
Attorney Daniel Horowitz represents families of loved ones at Trialsdale. In a new lawsuit, he calls the center severely understaffed and Tennessee's most dangerous and notorious prison.
Well, at least he got paid. At least he got paid. You know what I'm saying? At least he worked his way up. Let's keep those claps going. And speaking of jail, let's give a fail to somebody who might soon be spending time in a prison just like this one. Our old friend of the show, Sam Bankman-Fried. SBF is back, baby, and his trial has just officially begun as of yesterday. Now, we don't have official photos of the trial, but these sketches will tell you that it is getting serious. The SBF trial is already absurd. So many things have already happened on the first day of trial, including them talking about his Forbes 400 cover and playing in full for the court the Larry David FTX ad, which had people apparently laughing. People outright laughing in the courtroom. But the estimates are not looking good for Sam, even on the first day of his trial. Basically, the prosecution is not offering him any sort of plea deal, which means that Caroline, Ryan, and Gary, which are basically his ex-girlfriend and ex-coworkers at Alameda and FTX, have provided meaningful intel to convict. They've already flipped on him, and they have basically given the country enough evidence to think they can put him down. And their estimate is that a light sentence would be 30 years. Reminder that Madoff got 150 years, which is, Sam is, 31, 32. So a light sentence for them would put him away till 60. And a heavy or medium sentence, assuming that they can get all of their evidence across, could put him away for a lot longer. But a lot of things have come out as a result of both this trial and the release of Michael Lewis's new book, Going Infinite. Now, Michael Lewis is a very respected financial writer. He wrote Liar's Poker, when I wrote Flash Boys, a bunch of great books. But this book has been getting pretty thoroughly torn down for being an obvious puff piece that was written before FTX collapsed. Like, most of this book is very clearly written before FTX collapsed, and it's like a fluff piece about Sam Bankman-Fried. And there is also very open questions as to whether the author got paid significantly by SBF for this book. Because, generally he's been a respected guy, and he's openly defending SBF. That's in there. We'll get more into that. What really has come out that was interesting was stuff about our old friend of the show, Mr. Wonderful. Now, I want to remind you of something that Mr. Wonderful said. A couple of things Mr. Wonderful said back when SBF and FTX were doing well.
If there's ever a place I could be that I'm not going to get in trouble, it's going to be at FTX.
I am a paid spokesperson for FTX, so I have a lot of respect for the management there. I did a lot of due diligence before I accepted that position.
If you talk to 10 people that knew Sam, 9 of them are going to say what a wonderful guy he was, and I'm one of those.
Sam is one of the smarter guys in this space for this reason. Long before crypto, he was a trader. He understands the power of leverage because he doesn't get himself caught in over-leveraged positions.
I don't think that guy has an evil bone in his body.
That was particularly bad because that's exactly what he did. That's exactly what he did.
I think that guy has an evil bone in his body. I've met his parents. They're compliance lawyers at Stanford. Wonderful people, very philanthropic.
Well, I mean, convinced. Mr. Wonderful's got me convinced. This is a nice guy. He's misunderstood. This wasn't a problem. Maybe he made some mistakes, but he's a good guy. And that has nothing to do with the fact that Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful, was paid $15.7 million for 20 hours of work, 20 social posts, 1 lunch, and 50 autographs. That, I'm sure, has nothing to do with it. $1 million per hour to shill for SBF. Again, this is a guy who does cameos for $1,000 a cameo. So this is way above his market rate. And so I think he's definitely got incentive to do it. Now, I want to talk about one part of that was interesting, which is that it wasn't just Mr. Wonderful here getting paid. In fact, Michael Lewis, in one of the actual good pieces of journalism in his book, revealed some of the other payments that were made.
FTX is the safest and easiest way to buy and sell crypto.
Bankman-Fried wanted it known that FTX was the go-to player in crypto.
Hey, it's Shaquille O'Neal, and I'm excited to be partnering with FTX.
He turned to the sports world to bring his exchange both legitimacy and edge. Lewis saw the FTX internal marketing documents.
He paid Tom Brady $55 million for 20 hours a year for 3 years.
$55 million for 20 hours a year. That's with customer money, bro. With customer money. Now, unique to Tom Brady is I believe he took all of that payment in FTX stock and crypto. So he actually, I believe, made out with none of it. I think Tom Brady specifically actually believed in the mission, which is the stupidest part. Shaq cashed that shit out insta. Shaq got cold hard cash. I believe Tom Brady shilled it for real. Again, this whole interview is so weird because Michael Lewis has done some really good financial journalism, and he spends this whole fucking interview talking about how he's a misunderstood nerd. And it's like the case is pretty open and shut. There's so much hard evidence that FTX just took customer funds and used them like a piggy bank to buy all this obscene shit and a Bahamas mansion. And as it turns out, that expensive commercial featuring SBF's dad. So another big revelation of this trial, and my big fucking fail of the week is SBF's parents are nearly as guilty as he is. So much is coming out about they are not innocent. They are not unaware. They siphoned millions of dollars from FTX themselves before the collapse. They enriched themselves, got increased influence, bought real estate and property, and used it for celebrity access. For example, here is an email from SBF's father, his dad right here, demanding to get paid more for being a spokesman for FTX. He was getting paid $200K and said he was supposed to get $1 million a year. And then says, gee, Sam, I don't know what to say here. This is the first I've heard of $200K a year. Putting Barbara on this, which is his mom. He lobbied his own son to increase his salary $800K a year. For a company that he wasn't even really working at. He was a spokesman. He's his dad. Insane. And it doesn't stop there, okay? They received $10 million gifts from their son and $19 million for property in the Bahamas. These are school teachers. Where are they getting this money? And their dad, of course, demanded to be cast in the Larry David ad, which he is right here. You can see. And you can see he said, look, this is his dad speaking. Okay, I'm not a star fucker, and I don't really care about meeting, say, Tom Brady, but Larry David, ... Are you trying to fuck Larry David, Joseph Bankman? Either way, he showed up in a Super Bowl ad by demanding his son. So again, his parents are definitely involved. They're complicit in this crime. They either knew or ignored bright red flags revealing that their son was orchestrating a vast fraudulent scheme. And I think this part is very, very difficult for them to prove. That they just missed the red flags. It seems like they were pretty involved, but we'll see as the trial goes further. Now, speaking of trials, one that doesn't exist but probably should is T-Mobile. I'm going to give them another fail of the week because T-Mobile was just openly giving people other people's information in the app. If you opened your T-Mobile app, it was just giving you someone else's credit card, someone else's billing information, someone else's passwords. It was like a random roulette of doxing. Who the hell is David? I should give him a call as people know. And people were just posting it on social media. They were just getting other people's bills. It was just a mix-up at T-Mobile. You could go in and see everyone's phone numbers and what they were paying, and that shit was crazy. Now, they haven't been sued for this, and the FTC hasn't stepped in, and I'm asking why. This is like insanely criminal negligence on T-Mobile's part. It's a huge fuck-up. I don't know what will become of it. Hopefully there's a class action lawsuit, but I thought that was a funny fail. Hopefully someone paid my bill. Yeah, if you're someone out there whose T-Mobile bill got randomly paid, that is probably because of this. So good for you. Yeah, it's like a secret Santa for your bill. And everyone, I think, is hoping in some small way that could happen to them, that someone will come along and pay their bills. Because as I've seen on social media, inflation is getting out of control. Now, we've all known it's bad, but I think people are waking up to the fact that it's even worse than official numbers are saying it is.
So I'm walking around Costco here, and I'm noticing these prices. For example, these madras lentils, $15.99. I bought those a year ago for $6.99. I keep getting told that we got, 6-7% inflation. You got to be kidding me. Let's look at what else we got going on here. We literally bought this chicken broth, $5.69, 2 months ago.
He's got photos. Photo evidence, bro. Photo evidence of massive price increases on consumer staples.
For $5.99 last year.
$9.49 to $13.49. But now again, this may not be. I'm not of the belief the numbers are particularly fabricated. I think this could be. He's thinking of 7% inflation a year. It's more like 7% a month. It keeps adding up and compounding on each other. And I think the numbers are probably accurate. We just have bad inflation. But I think people are definitely waking up to the fact that no matter what anyone trumpets or says, especially grocery prices have gotten way fucking worse. And it's noticeable. Food prices have gotten worse. And of course, gas prices are worse. And people feel that on their wallets, taking a huge part of their impact. A lot of things, a lot of staples, gasoline, beef, laundry equipment, natural gas, eggs, bacon, used cars, everything. Prices are all up and people are noticing it and they're feeling it in their wallets. But one thing has gotten worse than all of the rest. One category has bigger and worse inflation than all of the rest of these. And it's the one people are getting most hurt by. Love. Love, ladies and gentlemen, has the worst inflation of all. Specifically in dating apps. Because every single dating app is now introducing massive high-price tiers or price hikes. Hinge is adding a $50 monthly rate up from its previous high of $35. Bumble is considering a tier above a $60 a month plan. Grindr is adding more premium offerings. Everyone is adding, they're paywalling and gating love behind higher and higher price tiers in these dating apps. And they say, because they say customers will put up with it. Basically, they say the customers are gonna balk at these prices. When it comes to what you're willing to pay a premium for, finding a life partner is way up there on value, said Baxter, who has studied subscription business for more than 2 decades. Here's an example of a guy named Nicholas Sassoon, who paid for Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge, and has spent more than $800 on dating apps. While landing only a handful of dates. Oh. $800 down the drain on apps for a handful of dates. From the amount of time I've been on it, it hasn't paid off, said Sassoon. Still, the 29-year-old is sticking with him, citing convenience and difficulty meeting people in Los Angeles. That's how bad dating has gotten. This guy has spent 7 years, $800, and hasn't gotten any dates, and is thinking, I'm going to stick with it. There's got to be some place to find people in LA, bro, other than spending all this money. Anyway, we didn't get to the big one. The real whammy, the real gigantic elephant in the room of dating app price increases comes from Tinder, which gets my win of the week for pure audacity to offer a $500 a month subscription for its most active users. A $6,000 a year plan for the invite-only Tinder Plus that includes VIP search. This is in response to their declining overall subscribers. People are turning away from Tinder, so they're trying to make their money back by milking the whales, which is probably a sex move you could ask for on Tinder if you get the VIP Plus. According to Tinder's website, this is what it offers. This is what it offers for $500. Okay? You can DM people that didn't match with you 2 times a week. So you can just harass people that don't want to talk to you. You can just pay to win to get into their DMs. Insane. How will they not see that it's going to cause people to leave the app? They're going to leave the app if they're getting harassed people that spend money. You can get a unblurred profile photo that is prioritized on other people's likes you grid. So you get automatically put in their feed like a blue check mark on Twitter. You get this fucking loser badge. You get this fucking I paid $500, I'm so fucking down bad badge that is on your profile so everyone can see, I guess, that you have that much disposable income. You get a select mode. This is kind of like Raya or something where you can see like only the most sought after profiles for exceptional connections. The only problem is like, just because you spent the money doesn't mean they want to match with you. And then, of course, you can hide ads, a feature that costs like $7 on most other services. Hiding ads is a fine feature. $500 a month for it is fucking crazy. It's the most expensive ad blocker the world has ever seen. So, if you're looking for love, it's getting a little more pricey, but that's what you're going to have to take to get with it in this modern world. Now, this is going to shock you, but this is a perfect segue into our next segment, and you're going to find out why in a second. But ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce my man Xi Jinping to introduce you to You better salute. Gets me every time. Gets me every time. Oh, wait. This is fucked. So why does my conversation on Tinder have anything to do with China? Tinder has a new $500 tier. What does that matter for China? Well, it turns out in China, they aren't so much interested in using Tinder to find love. They have a different problem. Massive youth unemployment. So what are they using Tinder for in China? To find jobs. Apparently, because the average person that uses Tinder in China has access to a VPN and is likely working for a big, prestigious multinational firm that has offices in multiple countries, they're likely to be employed. So people are just making accounts on Tinder, swiping right on everybody, and then asking them for hookups for a job. Like asking them for connections or like if they have any work available. This is an extremely common use of Tinder in China now. And on the flip side, even more interestingly, is that apps like TikTok, which are not romance apps here in the US, are offering their employees romance apps. So basically, if you work at TikTok, they now have a built-in matchmaking service where you can set up your employees with somebody else. Like, for example, if you have a a sister or something, you can sign them up for a matchmaking service to be matched with a TikTok employee. It's an insane service. I'm gonna see if I can understand it a little better. Yeah, it's a meet cute section for employees only that contain photos of people being advertised. It's like you advertising other people for matchmaking. Which just ends up with a lot of people like making weird comments about relatives and colleagues and coworkers of people they know, which does not seem good. So right now it can only be personal ads for friends and relatives, but not for yourself. They declined to comment, but anyway, interesting follow-up. Yeah, they advertise their internal. Yeah, interesting flips of matchmaking services. But the real story out of China this week is one that I hope we can all get behind. It is one that brings me great sorrow, and that is the end of panda diplomacy. Ladies and gentlemen, if you live in a country other than China, specifically America, the chance of you seeing a panda in a zoo will soon be gone. Every panda, you may or may not know this, is on loan from China. Every panda in every zoo all over the world is only on loan from China as a practice called panda diplomacy that has been around since the 80s, I think, when China was first starting to open up. And they've used these pandas as gifts to build a stronger bond between the two nations. But as the world becomes more multipolar and tensions between the United States and China continue to rise, the negotiations for next year's continuation of the panda lease have gone sour. And it seems very unlikely that China will allow pandas to be exhibited in U.S. zoos for the foreseeable future. They are all getting pulled back. Now, this is a very interesting example of this. It's not just the United States. Is these two pandas, which I believe are called Tuan Tuan and Yuan Yuan, whose names together mean reunification. These pandas were gifted to Taiwan to help build diplomatic relations back in 2008. This is an article from 2008. In a big symbolic step forward, China delivered a pair of giant pandas to Taiwan. And these two pandas were meant to soften tensions. Because back in 2008, it seemed likely that Taiwan and China might actually get along, and it wouldn't lead to conflict. This is, of course, before Xi Jinping took office in 2013. Then he did change stance immediately, and now recently, one of those pandas died. It could not be more symbolic that reunification peacefully is not happening. That is not happening. But this is a serious issue, okay? Because the pandas may not seem like a lot, but they're a symbol of the possibility of peaceful talks and collaboration. And there was even a clip in Congress from John Fetterman talking about it.
I mean, they're taking back our pandas. You know, we should take back all of their farmland.
It's tit for tat. They take back the pandas. We take back the farmland. We're not going to export them food. All of a sudden, the war has escalated. The Cold War and the standoff escalates. Now, I wish more of us could take a lesson from a wise streamer and de-escalate these situations and maybe hope for a peaceful resolution where Taiwan can be its own independent nation. And that streamer, of course, is AI Clint Stevens.
Well, I have strong opinions about this topic. Personally, I think Taiwan should absolutely be recognized as a fully independent nation state. They got their own government, their own flag, and they're doing their own thing. It's time for the world to stop playing games and acknowledge Taiwan for what it is, a sovereign nation. What do I know? I'm just a guy playing Mario 64.
Maybe you know more than us all, Clint. Maybe you know more than us all. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of Wins and Fails, and that is the end of What's Up Beijing. And hopefully you'll tune in next week for more Marketing Monday Wins and Fails. Thanks for watching. Pretty good one, huh? I feel like that was, I think we had a good combo. I felt good about that one because we had a good combo of stories. If you have any questions, I'm not answering them. I'm going to drink some water, chill for a second. There's tons of more stuff I want to talk about. I actually had to cut, literally this thing was at 200 slides. That was about 100. I got to talk about Taylor Swift. I got to talk about Toy Story NFL. I got to talk about crypto. I got to talk about AI. I got to talk about fucking Bob Menendez taking fucking bribes for Egypt. I got to talk about fucking Mr. Beast on the Hornets. I got to talk about, there's a million things to talk about, but I cut it for the ones I thought were most interesting. So we'll probably do, I don't know, some bonus discussions. Are you registered to vote? Of course. Who else is going to write in Kanye? Missed market. There'll be a VOD. What do you think will happen with dating apps? I think users, here's what I think. This is a slide that I cut, but I'll talk about it. Do I still have it? I think, maybe I just fucking, there's this concept called pricing power. Okay? Pricing power is the ability of a company to consistently raise prices. And the only way you can do that is if your customers think you are providing them so much excess value. If you're not, eventually you don't have pricing power, you lose it. Now, recently, because of this whole inflation surge, a lot of companies that weren't even really experiencing inflation in their cost of goods sold were raising prices. They got like artificial pricing power. They kind of squeezed it in. And because customers were so flush with cash from stimmy checks and excess savings from the pandemic, people have felt they've been bitching about it, but they don't stop buying it. So that if Oreos double their price, people go, fuck, this is so annoying, but they buy the Oreos. Chipotle raises their price, they go, fuck, this is annoying, but they buy the Oreo, they buy the Chipotle. People have not been changing their buying habits too much. That is starting to change. As credit card bills get extra high and excess savings run out, Americans are starting to say, wait, what the fuck? we have to start making actual choices with our money. And they are realizing that they can choose alternatives. Because again, for example, if you've always gotten one thing, let's say you always get, I don't know, Chipotle. You always get Chipotle. If they kept raising prices, eventually you'd be like, okay, I've got to do something else. I got to change my routine. It takes a while, but eventually people change. This is happening with streamers that are not streamers like me, streamers like Netflix and Amazon Prime. They keep raising prices. Eventually customers start churning out. So pricing power is a problem that a lot of companies are running into. I think that dating app companies are going to run into this hard. I think every dating app company that thinks they can get away with raising prices is going to start realizing pretty soon the customers are not willing to make that choice. They're going to start churning out. And then they're going to be fucked. So yeah, I think if you wanted to pick the companies to short, again, I would never recommend shorting. I never recommend it. I fully saying not financial advice, don't do it. But some of you guys still fucking do options. Look at companies that are losing access to pricing power. Companies that are no longer able to raise prices, and customers are choosing other alternatives because they're going to be fucked. They're going to be fucked going the next 12 months. Yeah, Disney Plus is a huge problem. Disney Plus already has so much fucking churn. People have looked at Disney Plus and realized they have no fucking shows. They had like Mandalorian and that was it, dude. They have almost no fucking, maybe Loki could be fine. I want to watch Loki, but people are churning out of Disney does not have pricing power to raise prices anymore. I loved Andor, don't get me wrong, but nobody watched it. So what do you want me to say? People are starting to churn out and they are starting to look at the cost they're spending on these things and leave. So very few companies have actual legit pricing power, and those companies are worth betting on. Everyone else, they're going to be a tough ride. They're going to have to start doing deals and discounts and fucking all the things that hurt their bottom line and make their stock start plummeting. My father's high school economics tutor's father worked for the Reserve Bank. He insider traded with his class for clout. That's kind of hype. Atrioc, I went to the Huntington Beach Air Show this weekend. Needless to say, the F-35 can fly during rain. and I'm glad I got to hear the power of $1 trillion. Who needs free healthcare? Lol. Sent from the hospital. Based, dude. That's fucking awesome. That's so sick. It can fly during the rain? That's fucking badass. F-35, baby. Man, I went to so many air shows as a kid. I fucking hate air shows. I think I've been to hundreds of air shows. I saw the Blue Angels fucking 700 times. I get so bored. What did you hear? Whether there's a conference meant to help women and LGBTQ get STEM jobs, but then men took their into spots away? I did not hear about that. That's crazy. I have to learn about that more. How many F-35s does Canada have? I guess that's one thing. Is like, we may not have healthcare, but like we do have more F-35s than Canada. Do you think it's actually possible for the average person to make money off the stock market using skill and not just getting lucky? No, not really. I think most people can do it through index funds in a long time, or maybe picking stable companies in a long time. But in general, no, I don't think the average person who's competing against gigantic hedge funds with often better knowledge, advanced trading, instant speed, I think you'll lose money 10 times out of 10 or 9 times out of 10. Picking individual stocks. I generally believe that. But there's also like some things where, you know, if you can be an average person, but have knowledge of a specific industry. Like, let's say you work in, I don't know. Here's a great example. Let's say you work in food service. Okay. Regular food service job. And you start to notice that businesses are starting to use those fucking Square payment tablet checkout things before everyone else. Like you start to see those are starting to catch on. Owners like them. They get the job done. They're better than the previous thing. And then you invest in Square. That's like, you have reasonable knowledge based on what you've seen in your real life. And if you'd done it at the right time, you would have made a lot of money because Square went way up. That's like a possible thing that could have happened. Like maybe you have an example from real life where you see a product before it becomes well known that is truly uptrending and like has good retention and use and pricing and everything, and that's a real chance. But in general, I would say no, you're not going to just pick a random stock that you just heard about and know better about than the average person. I invested $7.50 in Coke a couple years ago, and I'm currently down. Feels bad, man. Wait, Coke is up from a few years ago. You're lying. Bro, did you invest in cocaine? Coke's up, bro. Coke has been a pretty solid investment for the past few years. Because they also pay a big dividend. So they've had, price appreciation on the actual stock, and they've had dividends. So it's double whammy. It's been a great stock. But if you bought cocaine and then sat on it, yeah, I could see why that would be bad because the price of that is down. Hey, Atrioc, I'm 16 in Canada, and I have $20K saved from a serving job. Right now, I'm invested in index-linked and flat-rate term deposits. No, you're good. Change nothing. You're fine. Don't risk anymore. It's my school savings, so I want no risk. Yeah, bro, you're not. Even, are you invested in, is it the Canadian Stock Exchange? Because I wouldn't even do that, bro. I would. The TSX, bro, I would get a different index. The TSX is fucking tumbling, and I would. TSX is way down. Canada's in fucking trouble. Just save, bro. Save and get access to these bonds, bro. Right now is probably the best time we're going to have in our life for bonds. Because very soon, all these governments that raise interest rates are going to have to fucking bring them down to zero again to keep things floating. We're going to have recessions. People are going to panic. They're going to take interest rates to zero, make debt free, and try to reinflate the bubble. It's the only way. And you're not going to get access to these 5% treasuries anymore. Yo, Big A, thanks for recommending Red Rising. This book is incredible. Maybe the favorite book I've ever read. Nice. Red Rising is a dope book. Please check it out. Guaranteed to make you cry in the first fucking 4 chapters, and then you're hooked. Really, really dope series. Very fun. Now, one thing I'll say is it's not high art. It's definitely a fucking wish fulfillment power fantasy kind of novel. I just want to be honest. It reminds me of Name of the Wind. It's like a book where the main character is a super Giga Chad and everything goes right. And they just fucking solve all the problems and they're really smart and buff and strong. It's almost like an anime, I guess. And Name of the Wind is just like that. But it's really well written and it's fun and it's the setting is super cool. And so you'll probably end up liking it, to be honest. But it's not like, it's not incredibly deep, but it's fun. It's really fun. And, like we watch movies all the time that are not that deep, and this is way better than a movie, so. Things do not go right in Dark Age. First of all, don't spoil for these, chat. And second of all, they sort of do, right? They never, the main character is never someone you couldn't wish fulfill yourself into. That's the whole point. He's always a Giga Chad. You're like misunderstanding what I'm saying. Atrioc, I found out that I make about 80% of what my coworkers do. And when I asked for a raise, they said they can't do anything for me because of the way the market is. It's the market. It's the market. No, obviously we're going to pay Steve more than you. But that's the market. Steve is in hot demand. Everyone's telling you to quit. Find a new job. Don't quit. Don't just randomly quit, bro. Look, but yeah, go interview somewhere else. The best way to get a pay raise is to have an offer from somewhere else, even if you wanted to stay. You should fairly regularly look around if you're not like 100% happy, because it's a best chance to get a pay raise. Companies generally do not reward employees for staying there a long time with pay raises. I think I'm a little bit of a hater in that I think, based on the numbers I've seen, Gen Z might hop around too much. They like switch jobs every fucking, year and a half, which to me seems a little crazy, but at the end of the day, it's what you got to do to get paid more. So, or 6 months. Yeah, whatever. Atrioc, my manager was laid off and I've been low-key pushed to pick up his work. Is that a normal thing? It's a normal thing, but you have leverage to push back and at least get paid what they were getting paid. If you're taking over their responsibility, you should take over their fucking paycheck. But it is normal and it is bad. Generally, layoffs leave the rest of the coworkers there not only demoralized because it shows the company is not anything resembling a family, but it also makes them have more work. It's like a shock to the system that puts more work on other people. So there's like knock-on effects. And I think there's a way, like, if I'm being honest, we can all bitch about it, but like, if you're in this situation, I think you can honestly go to your manager, explain the situation, explain that you're doing more, and ask, make clear expectation to like get paid more. I think you can do that in a way that's not contentious. Not all managers will respond appropriately to that, and people are assholes and shit could happen, but I think you can do it. I think it's worth trying. Atrioc, I have to lay off someone for the first time tomorrow. Not their fault. My department is profitable. Execs messed up. Any advice? Yeah, give them a picture of the exec whose fault it is and write their address, home address, and fears on the back. And say, you're fired because of this guy. Should we all stop driving cars to support the UAW workers on strike? How would that help them at all? Already purchased cars? In what way would that... If we all stopped driving cars and found alternative to cars, then their jobs don't even need to exist. Then the car companies don't even have reason to hire them. That's the opposite of... Atrioc, can you explain how a startup is defined? I have seen a company that's been active for 13 years call itself a startup. I don't know. I don't think there's a hard definition. I think people just I think that's probably not a startup after 13 years, to be honest. It's kind of nebulous. I do not believe there is a hard definition for what makes a company a startup or when it becomes not a startup. Yeah, it's like indie games. What makes a game indie? Where's the line on indie? It's vibes. It's vibes. Maybe they have a startup vibe. A lot of big companies will say they have a startup vibe, like a startup culture. Which really means they want you to work insane hours. When a big tech company talks about its startup culture, they mean they want you to work fucking nights and weekends, bro. I wanted to watch something today. Maybe House, maybe, but I also possibly will watch. Apparently, you can watch for free the season premiere of Lego Masters featuring our good friend Duck Bricks.
It's not gonna go on.
Which I might watch. But maybe I don't watch it today. And I get Duck Bricks to join us for a simulcast as we watch. That could also be dope. Maybe Ari too. Or maybe I get Ari. Maybe watch it with Ari. All right, I won't watch today. I'll get Ari or I'll get Duck Bricks. But maybe both. Maybe we get that could be really fun. Atrioc, do you still get calls from recruiters or has pivoting and streaming changed that? The only thing I get calls from is consulting. Because I did, in February, March or whatever, for cash, I did some consulting. And it was people that really just wanted to copy exactly what NVIDIA did down to like the minor detail. It was people that wanted to ask me exactly how many employees we had on marketing, what we spent on each section. Well, it was, and so I did that for a little bit, and then I get calls for consulting now because I think I did pretty well on those couple of calls. Doug Briggs already reacted to it? All right, then I'll do it with Ari. All right, so at 10 o'clock we'll watch House. So we got 20 minutes. Is there anything we want to vibe with? We have 19 minutes. Hey, Big A, I love your shit. Hope for more Lies of P. But I was wondering if there was any rules or ways for a company to have leverage against you if you want to do a planned strike. Yeah. they have a lot of weird fucking ways and loop. It depends on your industry and what you're doing, and tough for me to say. That being said, I think you should do some research on what's possible in your industry, and if you have 10 to 30 employees ready to go, I think you should do it. I mean, they should. Just get a check. I don't want to over advise. But yeah, if you're being mistreated, organizing and then, demanding that you will not work unless you receive the demands that you're asking for is totally reasonable, totally rational, and should be encouraged more because it'll create better businesses in the long run anyway. We should go to random Walmarts and do a flash strike. Do you know what that'll lead to? Is everyone shopping at Walmart. If we all showed up at Walmart for a flash strike, we would end up fucking buying a bunch of fucking candy and shit from Walmart. Well, they would just be walking around like, all right, I'm striking, but I'm hungry. Let me get some groceries while I'm here. Let me buy a fucking video game while I'm here. We did not. We would buy the markers and the signs at Walmart. $10 from DD. You said, I have to bring an article to a macroeconomics class on Friday that's interesting about the economy. I want to be the coolest one. Any suggestions? If you want to do some digging and understand it, I think the stuff going on with Japan's bonds right now is fucking insane. I think Japan is a country that is like really backed into a corner. They have negative interest rates. They've been just printing money at an unheard of level. They have the largest government debt in the world, and trying to keep interest rates low to keep the bubble inflated. But the problem is they're now getting inflation for the first time in 30 years, and it's bad, and they haven't changed course, and it's starting to get really bad. And now because everyone expects them to pivot, they have to keep printing even more money to try and keep interest rates down. It's crazy. So I would read up on that and maybe bring that in, and if you could explain it, it's probably a cool thing for your class. More than Jay Powell? Yes. More than Jay Powell. How does printing more money keep interest down? It is because they print the money to buy their own debt, their own government bonds. And when you buy a bond, the yield as the price goes up, the yield goes down. So buying it at a certain price keeps the yield down. Who is the government in debt to? They're buying their own debt, which people think that doesn't matter. But what it is basically, however you spend it or slice it, it is making more yen in the economy than before. They are printing money. Listen, people get confused when you talk about government owing debt to itself. At the end of the day, I've tried to think of a way to make this more simple because I think it gets too confusing. People get annoyed. The point is, when a government prints a whole fuck ton of money, the average person sees prices rise. I think that's the simplest thing you have to understand. Okay? So whatever keeps the house of cards up with printing money and debt to yourself and whether or not you can cancel it, whatever. The point is there's a bunch more fucking money, and so inflation is happening. But they can't stop doing it. Are prices in Japan rising? Yes. And also the yen is fucking super weak. Look at this. So if you want to travel to Japan, now is literally the best time in like 30 years. This is USD to yen. So instead of getting 108 yen for $1, you get 150, which means the yen is fucking atrociously weak and the dollar strong. And so if you're a person in Japan, we have friends, me and Ari have friends in Japan we talk to, they're getting paid in yen, which buys less and less. Groceries are expensive and their paycheck is smaller. Gas there is crazy expensive. Paycheck is smaller. They're mad And the government cannot stop printing money, so it's only getting worse. Yeah, Japan is in a rough spot. It's very cheap right now. It's historically cheap. For dollars. If you have dollars. If you have yen, it's not cheap. Everything's price is going up. This isn't the Sugoi Japan I know from anime. What? Atrioc, is there somewhere you can see what stocks you hold? No, you cannot see my Schwab positions or my Morgan Stanley positions, but you can see my public on public.com. You can see my public ones. But most of that was honestly Disney from all because every time someone signed up for public, I got a free share. And so I put it all into Disney. And I haven't even started this, but I really wanted to make a video on how uniquely bad Disney is right now. They're such a I'm still holding that because I think there's a real chance Disney sells their whole company, possibly to Apple. Or spins off ESPN for a big chunk of cash. And they are doing some stuff like Disney is doing a $60 billion revamp. They kind of realize that they're getting fucked and they spent way too much on streaming and Disney Plus sucks. They're doing a fucking full refresh of Parks and Cruises, which generally has been connected to good times within Disney. Like when they actually really focus on making the parks and in-person stuff do well, it has knock-on effects for everything else. Now, actually, the most important thing is animation. They have to make good movies, and they haven't really been doing that. Pixar's been kind of sucking. But if they can make good movies again and do the parks well, everything else usually does well after that. So it's not over. It's not Jover. But it is becoming more and more obvious that Disney Plus has been like a fucking failure. They just spent so much fucking money on it and it's not holding customers. Like people are just not sticking around with it. It's just a lot worse than I think I expected. What streaming service isn't a failure? Netflix. Netflix is the only profitable streaming service. Yeah. Netflix is the only one. People don't churn away from Netflix. I mean, they might as things go forward. Prices keep going up, but they raise prices all the time. Yeah, people think Netflix is worth it. People think Netflix has enough variety of content that getting rid of it would hurt them. So they'll pay the extra price. But Disney Plus, they don't feel like that. They feel like they can live without it. This is the average consumer, not all of you. People are different, but Prime Video, Prime Video, Apple TV, all of those are not profitable. They are just marketing arms for something bigger, for Amazon Prime and for Apple's services in general. Those things make money elsewhere, so they don't care if they lose money on streaming, which they do. I'm missing Dono. Sorry. Thank you for the hype chat from LA. I may or may not have BS'd my way into an internship at a trading firm. Any tips for how to prepare? How much of the work will be real and not just Excel? Excel is real work. People that are good at Excel are fucking goated. And an asset to the rest of the team instead of bullshitters. You should actually get really good at it. But the problem is people don't respect it enough, so it's tough. You should read Liar's Poker, bro. Show up and be an average, stereotypical Wall Street trader. just watch Wolf of Wall Street 40 times and read Liar's Poker and start quoting it and just be like, yeah, try to be like fucking from movies, you know? Yeah. Show up and walk around and just say, buy, sell, buy, sell. I'm not fucking leaving. And then do cocaine. Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. People will know that you belong there. Will Amazon ever sell Twitch, or is it a good advertising platform for them? No. Twitch is pretty much a big stinker for Amazon so far. Twitch doesn't make money. They spent a bunch of money on it. Hasn't made money. Hasn't turned profitable. Hasn't led to like more Prime sales. People aren't buying Prime so they can use Twitch Prime. You know what I'm saying? They've sort of dumped a lot into it for nothing. But I don't think they sell. Because the thing is, in tech generally, once a platform starts winning, once they get like 67% market share, they almost never lose. They just coast until something else disrupts it. So like right now, in terms of like horizontal live streaming, Twitch is like kind of undefeatable. Everyone's tried and it hasn't really worked, and Twitch is still on top and there's not going anywhere. So it's good to own that. Like they're willing to take a loss to own that, because that could be profitable later. But there's a general sense that maybe mobile live streaming and vertical live streaming will replace Twitch. It's possible. People are talking about that. It's definitely growing really fast. There's way more mobile users than there are other users. So it's possible. But for right now, they have no chance of selling. But it still sucks for them because they haven't made any money. Is Amazon that big of a company to where they can just lose money on Twitch and it doesn't hurt them that much? Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. 100%. When I worked at Twitch, it was really funny because Amazon Games has two branches. One of them is their video game department that makes games, Amazon Game Studios, and one of them is Twitch. Twitch lost a little bit of money. Twitch was almost profitable, but it lost money. Amazon Game Studios lost billions of dollars for nothing. Amazon Game Studios burned money and made no money. So the boss at the time, who I believe was Andy Jassy, it all reported that he's now CEO, but he was the boss of the game area at the time. He was never that mad at Twitch because at least they were trying. You know, it was like Amazon's eye didn't turn towards Twitch till later. So like basically when I was leaving, and then later after that, where they started to realize that like, hey, you gotta get more profitable. And that's why you've seen a lot of bad decisions from Twitch, is because they're trying to get profitable because Amazon's pressuring them. They're trying to find ways to make more money. Does it make you feel icky that some companies are bigger than some nations' GDP? Not really. Not in, I mean, some nations are really small. So some countries are really big and have big company. That in itself isn't a problem. I do think I have a problem with, the biggest thing I have a problem with big corporations is that they fucking fake all their revenue in Ireland and fucking these fucking stupid countries to pay no taxes. That's my biggest problem. I think that's the big thing. I don't really care. Assuming that, I mean, in the ideal world, antitrust is enforced, but they don't pay any taxes because they pretend they're all made in Ireland, or fucking Bermuda or whatever. Yeah, Bahamas. It's like Apple's a fucking $3 trillion company, and it's like they book all their profit worldwide in fucking Ireland, this tiny little fucking country, and it's like, no, you shouldn't be allowed to do that. I think it's fucked. I think it's stupid. But like in a normal world where antitrust works and like competitive environment is real, big companies should actually be slower and weaker. Like, you know, you look at like, I don't know, the 40s to the 70s or whatever, the best time for the American middle class. The best time for the American middle class whenever like, it was the growth era of capitalism. It was kind of working for people. You'll notice like big companies were often beaten by smaller, more nimble companies. But nowadays, the big companies just swallow them up. They either buy them or use like government lobbying to like box them out or find some way to hamstring them. There's like a lot of ways big companies can just entrench their power to make it so that the smaller, nimble guys can't beat them. And that used to not be the case. It used to be a lot more common that a company could get disrupted and beaten. Atrioc, how do I get a girlfriend when I don't want to spend $500 a month on Tinder? Spend $1,000 a month on Match Select. Go big. Go bigger. Disney to Apple has FTC written all over it. You think something will get through? Yeah, man. Activision Blizzard to Microsoft had FTC written all over it. They got through. Google has FTC written all over it. I don't think they're going to win. You know what I'm saying? I have a very strong disbelief in the FTC's ability to block a merger from Apple. Just if Apple really wants it. If Apple says this is good for our business, good for the economy, create jobs, I just don't think the will is there to stop them. I would love for that to happen. I don't think it will. So I think if they wanted to make it happen, they could, to be honest. But I do think it would be reviewed. I think there would be a big trial. I think it would happen. I think they'd get through. They're the most valuable company in the world buying a household brand. No shot Apple wins it. Lamau, what the fuck? Yeah. All right. Okay, Kenny, I'm sure you got it all figured out, bro. The second most valuable company in the world just bought a household brand as well. And they did win it. Do you know what I'm saying? And it was basically the same price. Disney, like what? Disney's a $100 billion company. Activision Blizzard was 70. It's really not that crazy, bro. It happens all the time. Are you doing anything fun for Halloween? I want to cosplay with Ari, but I don't know what. I guess it's just dressing up on Halloween, but I want to cosplay. Cosplay House? It's just a cane. He doesn't dress that particular. No one would get it, dude, in 2023. Dr. Carbonation official outfit. No, I am not going to dress up as the fictional character that you created, Dr. Carbonation, who has nothing to do with me. He's handsome, I'm sure, and a good doctor, and has really good plans to shake up society, but he's not me. I don't know who he is, and I don't have any relation to him. I got offered 50% ownership of a new bar opening in my... Oh, wait, it's 10:01. Let's watch House. Fuck. Speaking of House, let's watch it. I'm going to run an ad. So we get it out of the way. Actually, is it crazy or did I not get ads today? I feel like we got... Wait, sorry, what did I ignore? Who did I ignore? Everyone's saying ignored. The bar guy? Oh. He was saying he got offered a bar? I don't know, man. I can't tell you. No money down? No, it probably is too good to be true. Yeah. They're going to give you half of a bar for no money? Yeah, that seems weird. I mean, look into it. Make sure, just do I can't do the work for you, but look into it, bro. There's something up. People don't offer you free bars. That's not a normal thing. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I'm going to run an ad, but I guess we're not getting ads, which is cool. All right, we're going to run that and get snacks, and we're going to watch House. Pog Champ!
Poggers!
Bum, 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 bum. What's good? What is good? I'm excited to watch some House. Last episode was pretty funny. Let's see. House. Don't call me Meatball Brandon like I'm fucking Ron DeSantis. Meatball truck. Yeah, I've thought of including some stuff about what's going on in U.S. politics, but honestly, it's like it's crazy, but also simultaneously boring in my mind. It's like we've seen this show before. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I can't find myself getting excited about it because it's everything we've already seen. It's almost a rerun. Writer strike? I think strikes are different. I guess I get excited about the idea of people realizing that it's possible to, like, I don't know. Be pro business competition and think that we need a strong labor movement. I don't know. I just think people don't think that's possible to have both ideas, and it's like, I think it is. So I like to, that's why I talk about it. Are you going to finish Storyteller? Yeah, absolutely. My computer crashed last time, which sucked ass, but we're on episode 14 called Living the Dream. Living the Dream from May 4th, 2008. I'm trying to see. Oh, there's a new number one song. The number one song from May 4th, 2008 was this. Nope, I just want the song. Thank you. Sorry, VOD Frogs, this is the end of your road.